Welcome back, everybody, again to the Nerdcore Live Show. This is episode 388. Of course, this is the Nerd Chicana here to host the show. Alongside my wonderful co-host, Brad Young Yoda.
Sup, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful Sunday. And this is our third recording of the day.
They're recording of the day. We're here to discuss episode 3 of The Penguin. We just got done with our review of Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power, season 2, episode 8, which I think was a great episode that we had, Brad. I think was a great season of television, great episode, and just really sad that now we have to wait another 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah. But
that's how it goes. But when we get Game of Thrones, and we'll probably get Lord of the Rings. So
yeah,
that's how that works out.
That's how that works out. Currently, what's it called, 10:13 here, and Brad, it's like 8:13. So I think it would be great for us to just get ready and get into this because we have Brad still has to watch.
Well, Raul's doing well. We're here, ready to party.
Yeah, ready to party, man. Which, by the way, I just have to point out this is one thing before we get into this to this what's it called review. Been loving this show so far, and I especially love that we keep having this penguin practicing Spanish. If you're gonna watch this show for anything, watch it for the fact that the penguin practices his Spanish skills from the Batman.
Hey man, this man comes from the same neighborhood. Got Mexicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Portuguese.
Yeah. He's very well known between everybody.
Yeah. This penguin ain't no fancy smancy British fool in a top hat. This man comes from the streets.
Yeah. But with that said, Brad, I think we should just get straight into it because I think that we had a really, really good episode of television this week from the Penguin, and I really, really want to talk about this already. So, with that said, if you have not watched this week's episode of The Penguin, you should probably get out of here. We care about spoilers, but if you don't care about spoilers or you have seen this episode, go ahead and stay. Either way, how it goes. This is your one and only spoiler warning is in effect after these words from our sponsors in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today's episode of the Nerdcore Live Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off with code TheNerdCore. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, Brad, let's go ahead and get this thing started here. Brad, this episode is episode 3 titled Bliss. Oz and Sophia must address the skeletons in their closet as they attempt to control the future of Gotham's drug trade, while Victor is torn between his new life and what remains of his old one. Episode is directed by Craig Zobel and, of course, based on characters created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Finger. Developed by Lauren Lafranc and written by Noel Valdivia, starring Colin Farrell, Kristen Milotti, Renzi Feliz, Carmen Eyogo, Shohreh Akhshulu, Jared Abramson, Ben Cook, Tess Soltal, Michael Kelly, and a lot of other people. Let's see, any trivia here? I doubt it because the episode unless y'all are that quick. Bliss is also the name of a fictional drug used in an episode of Captain Planet.
Heart.
that gets a what's it called? A helpful a thumbs up, bro.
I do want to bring up a helpful fact though, is that mushroom's actually a real mushroom.
Yeah.
That they show in the show. And they use the real name for it. I don't know if it has the same effects that they're saying. That's a real mushroom. Because I was looking up that thing. I'm like, because I looked up Batman and looked at that mushroom. I'm like, was this in a comic somewhere? And no, it just pulled up that fucking mushroom. It's like, yeah, this exists, and it looked like the exact same thing. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Brad, thank you to whoever was that um was the IMDb user who had to bring up that Captain Planet
Yeah,
trivia?
there's a drug called Bliss.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Oh
Watched
my
a lot of
god.
Captain Planet. Didn't know that.
Yeah. But that's great. That's great. Brad, with that said, I have to say, Brad, I think this is a great episode. This is another great episode. I think it's my favorite episode of the series so far. And I think that
It's
we're kind
heavy.
of back.
It's a heavy episode.
We're back on some really good footing now. Where I was like, there was a clear drop off between episode 2 and episode 1.
Yeah.
But I think that now we're kind of like, oh man, like this is a very heavy episode, very much centered around Vic this time, and the decision that Vic has to make, whether where he stays with Oz, or he what's it called, he like runs away with this girl to start his life over. And it's like it's a very heavy episode, and plus you also have Oz and Sophia trying to trust each other here.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed it. What are your initial thoughts, Brad?
No, I think it's another great episode. I think the show is starting off really strong. For an episode that is about a Batman villain, and we have not seen Batman once. It's a very, very strong show. I like we got back to what I thought was great in episode 1, and that's the relationship between Oz and Vic. And we see a whole lot of that. And we see a little more backstory in Vic. It took me like a minute to realize that we were in a backstory when he's going to talk to his parents, because it didn't hit me right away that this was before like Gotham was underwater.
Mm-hmm.
And until like the bomb started going off, it like clicked. I'm like, oh, this is a fucking flashback. Like I didn't realize until that point. And now we know Vic has PTSD from it.
Massive,
And
massive PTSD.
whoever in the club decided to use the videos and images with their song, you're kind of a bastard. I'm just gonna say it, kind of a bastard in that effect. Um, but this is a very Vic focused episode, which I liked because we get a little more backstory. We get to see where he's coming from, see why he decides what he decides at the end, and what could have been. And I think at the end of the day, we're going, no, Vic, you made the wrong decision. At the end of the day, though, you put yourself in his shoes. What decision would you make? Like, would you run off with the girl and live a boring life that you don't know if you'll die the next day or if your family will be killed the next day? Because that's what's happening in here, and just to be nobody? Or do you follow Oz into a possible kind of hopeful aspect of he's got a plan? Maybe I help him see this plan through, and that'll lead me to some stuff. Because Oz is from Gotham, and in Gotham, yeah, there's not a lot, like good and bad don't matter. It's just survival.
Yeah. Um, I love the opening because it really shows where we kind of are. We started because we start this season and we learn about Vic, and now in this episode we're kind of like, okay, there's things that we need to kind of cover about Vic where we couldn't really go into it in those first episodes.
Yeah.
So we're showing him like, oh, there's some problems with him and his stepdad. He doesn't really like get along with his stepdad. He doesn't really like the guy. Because he talks about his father, like the way he talks about his father with Oz. It really shows how much Vic loved his dad.
Yeah. I mean, and
Because that guy was his stepdad, right? Or was
the
that his
mechanic,
father?
I think that was his father.
Oh, his father. Okay, yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean, you get this Vic at that time. His father said, we have enough. We have a good life. I mean, I'm proud of myself and what I've built and where I've come from, which, a lot of families of immigrants, that's kind of their life, is where they came from before wasn't as good as where they are now. And they got there from a lot of hard work. And, I would think he wouldn't want his son to go down the path he's going, like Vic says. But at the same time, dad's not there anymore. Neither is mom, neither is his sister. All his family's dead. I mean, when you come into that conflict, your morals kind of get wishy-washy. You kind
Yeah.
of like Oz is right. You're just surviving at this point. You're hanging on to any raft, and Oz is a raft. Oz is a goddamn fucking boat at this point in his life. Let's be real here. But yes, I think you are getting like he really cared about his dad, cared about his family, and just that scene where they're eating, and he tells Oz, my dad really liked to cook, and I think he really would have liked this place, the
Yeah.
oysters and stuff, but he would have never been able to afford this. And Oz goes into this dialogue of, well, that's a fucking shame. Hard workers like that, this is what they should get. And I don't know, it's an honest thing coming from Oz, or if it's another manipulation tactic where he's just trying to, get on the good side of Vic and keep Vic kind of there and just showing him like, this is what you can have. Like, here's $1,000.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. And this episode is like very centered around Vic and what his decision is, and like you know, it's really rough to see Vic in that situation because it's like, yes, Vic really wants to go with that girl, bro. Like he
yeah,
really
no,
like
no, he's really struggling, and he doesn't. I mean, he's sitting in a car talking to himself on how he's going to tell Oz and break the news to Oz, and then he's just like, "Oz just going to kill me." Like, that's
yeah.
just
But
bar
it's
none
like
what's going to happen.
I don't think Vic wants to betray Oz. I
No, I
part of me
think there.
kind of feels like Vic is kind of feels like he's really like grateful to Oz and like indebted to
Yeah,
Oz.
I
But
think
it's
there's a
like
sense of loyalty, and there's a sense of, he can have a better life
yeah,
through Oz. Um, I mean, I don't know if that's probably not the correct decision, because
yeah,
anytime you get, I mean, you think after seeing how many people have died already, and he's only been a week or 2 weeks there,
yeah.
you
Which
would
by the
think,
way, that's why I love that scene in the bathroom. Kind of Oz telling him like, I don't have you here because I have to have you here.
yeah,
You're not a hostage. I'm not going to kill you.
yeah, I would have killed you like
Yeah.
back then if I was. That's
Basically
what
saying
he's
like,
saying.
I have you here because I see potential in you and I know that you can do more.
Yeah, and you can walk out anytime. And for Oz's point, he let him walk. He did.
Yeah.
Hell, he let him steal his fucking car.
Yeah.
He may not have known it at the time. Um,
Yeah.
but what a wonderful kind of chaotic show this is. Because
Yeah.
every time I think Oz is caught, he fucking gets out. He fucking finds another way. Um, I'm kind of confused on why the Maronis have shown up, but it's nice to see the Triads, because
Oh yeah.
Triads is another gang that we haven't seen in a long time, but they've always been there. So it was cool to see that whole development. But again, the Maronis show up, and we're left with a cliffhanger here. And they fucking, god damn it, Oz just fucking betrays Sophia once again and leaves her.
Which that is going to be a decision that is going to bite Oz straight in the
Because
ass.
she ain't dead.
No, she's not.
No.
But it's just like this whole episode, other than what's been going on with Vic, is also centered around the idea of like, yes, Oz fucked up royally in doing that to Sophia.
Sophia.
We when to say which inevitably ends up in her being sent to Arkham.
Yeah. Oh, what great dialogue though between
Yeah,
them two outside that bar. And he's
but
like,
if
"Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I don't regret it because look what it got me." And Sophia's like, "Really? Like,
yeah,
really right now?" And he's like, "But I am sorry what they fucking did to you."
yeah, but it's like I feel like Oz also realizes like if I want to get anywhere with my plan, I have to make Sophia trust me. And there's a teeny bit of trust there in this
In
episode.
that moment until the Maroney show up, and then I think Oz is like, "Oh fuck, I'm caught." Like, just straight up fucking, and more than likely it's because he went to Vidi and told him like he knew about them fucking cheating, and he used that for the Triads instead of the Maronis
Yeah,
having that info, and so the Maronis called him a backstabber.
yeah,
But now Sophia like knows about the Maronis, so I don't know. I mean, my guess is she's still alive. I don't think you kill off that character in the third goddamn episode
Hell
because
no.
she is the
Plus,
one
we didn't
to
see
be
her
after
die.
Oz. No, no, when we didn't see, we saw one guy from the Maronis die.
Yeah. We didn't see Sophia die, so she's
No,
alive by the rules of TV. Unless you see them die of TV
they're
and
not
film,
dead.
unless you see them die, they're not dead.
Yeah,
So I don't think Sophia's dead. Um,
but if I well, and I don't know. I mean, if I was Oz, I might have kept her.
yeah. But
I'm
now
just
the question is like, is Oz gonna want to try to get in good graces again, or is this fuck up really massive, where it's like, I don't
I,
think Sophia can trust me now.
there is a point I think where we have to go from Oz the gangster, the Sopranos dad gangster, to Penguin the Batman villain, and this might be it. This
Yeah.
might be where the guardrails are off, and Penguin is going to do what Penguin does in order to get himself ahead. Because I don't think you keep Penguin in a trap.
No. And you see, man, how like, shit, man. Like, I'm telling you, if if there wasn't a plan on what to do with him, I am 100% sure that if Sophia was not in that room, Oz would have killed Maroney right then
Oh,
and there for
oh,
fucking saying all that shit to him.
oh, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Like, if he didn't, like, he needs Maroney to be alive.
Yeah, yeah. Like he needed Maroni to be alive to take the fall
Yeah,
for the killing of Alberto Falcone.
yeah,
That's basically that's how he got out of that situation. And
yeah,
Sophia has so far been at least under somewhat of an assumption that it was the Maronis. But
yeah,
this could be why you know because when they're driving off and Penguin's like leave her, I'm like why is he leaving Sophia? That's opening up to a lot of shit. And I'm like, and then I thought about more. I'm like, oh, he's caught. I mean,
yeah,
Sophia sees he's working with the fucking Maronis.
yeah,
That's why he left her, like because it doesn't fucking matter.
yeah. But and I loved it. It's like, yeah, if this was a completely different situation, Maroney would have been dead.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Maroni would have paid someone in prison. Maroni would have been dead in prison, and he would have killed everyone in that car.
yeah, yeah. But man, I really like this episode. I love how much it deals with Vic, and I love that we got to see, like, we really got to see what that flood looked like. And
Whew,
oh my god,
from
that
a
is
more
scary.
from inside the city, because
Yeah,
you remember Batman, it was from outside, like you
yeah,
saw the explosions really far away.
yeah,
And this one, they're like up close and personal. And
yeah,
him just looking down and him trying to call his mom to tell her to get to the roof. And you see that floodwater just go right in
yeah.
to their house.
Brad, do you think that um that cop was kind of expecting to be paid off? The one that pulled over Vic.
I I think, I mean, let's be
I think he
real
also
here.
realized who his boss probably
Yeah,
was,
I
and was like,
think
yeah,
yeah, well, I think yeah, he saw what the car was. The car is not inconspicuous. Let's be real here.
yeah,
Um, it's a plum Maserati with gold trim. I think we all know whose fucking car that is. Um, and I think he got a clue when the kid said, "Yeah, my boss," and then the kid basically said, "Yeah, I didn't have any money." And
yeah,
I mean, I think this is just more proving that Gotham's PD is very corrupt and can be paid out, and they don't want to put in the time or effort to deal with these gangs because they know they'll end up dead. So it's
yeah,
easier just to cash in the money and look the other way.
yeah. Which, by the way, I think those are probably the elements of like the GCPD show that Mary's wanting to make. Which
Yeah, and we
I
saw
love
that
those elements.
we saw that earlier with the detective that's hooked on
Hmm.
drops. So
Yeah, but I loved it, man. I love it. I think this was a great episode, Brad. I love how much we got to what's it called? Uh, I love how much more we got out of Vic this episode. Where it
well, I
kind
mean,
of
I
just
think, like I said, I think that's what's really good about the first episode was this relationship being built between Oz
yeah,
and Vic. That's probably going to carry through until the final episode.
yeah, yeah, and now it's just what now I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but like I know that that decision that he made right there to tell Vic to leave her, it's not gonna
I
go well for you, Oz.
do you see? I don't think there was a good choice there
No, it's
because
not.
because he's caught. The Maronis have basically given him up to Sofia Falcone,
Yeah,
and then I mean, because she already said like it's hard for me to trust you, and then the Maroni show up and say you fucking screwed us over, and it's like how do you fucking swerve that? How
yep,
do you retell that position to Sofia Falcone, who heard that? Like I said, the best thing Penguin should have done is shot both the Maronis and Sofia Falcone while they were on the ground.
yeah.
Just killed them both. That would have
But
been his
how does
best
that
option.
advance him being able to make his own like territory and all
Yeah,
that?
I mean,
Which
you're
is
stuck.
easily that's his end game is to have his own seat at that table and him to be
Yeah.
the one to have a massive
Yeah,
family.
I don't know if you get there. I don't know if you get there by playing the rules
Yeah,
of this Italian mafiosa mob of
yeah,
Gotham. I don't think
yeah,
he gets there playing the rules. I think he needs to become the Penguin, and then he
yeah.
just fucking takes it.
I'm really liking Christina Milotti's performance as Sofia Falcone. I think she's doing a great job, man. She's, she, by the way, she's fucking beautiful, man. But like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, she's so scary.
and
Like,
and
I
whoever's
love,
whoever's doing the stylist and
yeah,
the
the
costumes,
wardrobe.
yeah,
Yeah,
wardrobe's great.
fantastic, man. Like, she's doing great. That she looks great in every one of these episodes, and yeah, she's just fantastic. I really do like this. I really love her portrayal of
Almost
Sophia.
like I hate to say like an Audrey Hepburn look, but it's kind of going kind of that
Yeah,
level. Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, hey man, like I'm pretty sure it was like probably the same people who worked on the Batman because I mean, like the people who made those costumes were great too.
yeah.
Like they did a great job with the wardrobe and the styling. Like she just looks amazing in every episode. It's almost to the point where like on Twitter, everybody's like, "What's the next Sofia Falcone outfit gonna look
Yeah,
like?"
yeah. Well, it's like a Kardashian when they wear something. I'm like, oh, who are they wearing?
Yeah, what are you wearing?
Who are you
How much
wearing?
the shoes cost? How much the shoes cost? How
How
much the
much
shoes
shoes? How
cost?
much shoes? Oh, the red bottom. The red bottom. Got it.
Red
Got it.
bottom. Okay, what about the pants? What about the pants? How much the pants cost? How much
Louis V belt. See the Louis V belt.
what about the wrist? What about the wrist?
Oh shit! You know they got the
Tiffany
Rolex.
Patek. Tiffany
Oh,
Patek on the wrist. But Brad, I really love this episode. This is my favorite episode of the season so far. This was a great way to continue on with this, and I hope that just I've been loving this season so far, man. 3 episodes in, and we still got a lot more to go. I'm
uh,
gonna go ahead and give this episode a 9.25 out of 10, Brad.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this episode a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping it gets better. I don't disagree with you. I think this is probably the best episode so far.
yeah,
And I just wanted to continue to get better. Also, I want to know how many more hands those stinking diamonds are going to touch because I think those diamonds are cursed. I
yeah,
really fucking do.
yeah. So and yeah, I still kind of do agree with your point about like maybe the Scarecrow's drug is in there.
I don't know.
Which
I don't. Well, maybe the bliss, and then it has an after effect
yeah,
because maybe that's what they did in Arkham. They gave him the bliss to calm him down, and then they had another effect if you added a certain gas or something, and they were fucking terrified.
yeah. But who knows, man? I
That would
mean,
be
this
kind of
is
cool.
Matt Reeves' world, and we're just kind of living in it. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But I think they've been doing a great job with this show so far, and I really, really love this episode. But with that said, that concludes our review of the Penguin episode 3. Of course, keep up to date with us on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore Underscore, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok at the Nerdcore, Patreon.com/the Nerdcore. Tomorrow, live on Patreon, ad free, live, early. We're doing our review of Takashi Miike's um, audition, which will go live for everybody on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Time. So go and check that out, guys. $1 at the patreon.com/nerdcore. And we're kicking off horror month, man. I'm excited. And Discord link is in the description below so you can talk with us and hang out with us. And of course, we're just really thankful for our Patreon supporters. We're really tired, and Brad still has to watch a movie.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for being the wonderful people they are. Thank you for sticking with us for 3 reviews this today. Brad, please don't make us do this next week.
We're gonna have to. We'll have to talk. So.
Brad.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. With that said, Brad, let's go ahead and get him out of here.
All right, Raul, thank you for being host as always. Thank you to all our listeners and our Patreon supporters and all those who join us in future chats. We appreciate each and every one of you. And I guess to end this episode, eat at fancy restaurants and reminisce about your dad. You can go out.